Hi, everybody. Super excited to talk to you guys tonight about one of the new products that doTERRA released at convention, Adaptiv. This is a game changer, so I'm just going to wait a minute or two to see who is around. I'm going to try to see if I can invite people to watch. Okay, I'm just going to choose a couple people, see who is around. So if you guys are watching the replay of this, you may want to just fast forward, 30 seconds or so. I am just sending this out because I know that notifications are kind of weird with Facebook some days. So I am just going to send this out to some people to see if they want to jump on, because I am ridiculously excited about these new oils and what they can do. Okay, I'm just gonna hit a few more people. Sorry, if you're watching this, you're probably like, what is this person doing? I am just sending out some invites real quick, guys. Okay, I swear I'll stop in a second. Okay. All right. Hi, Megan. Hey, Janet. So, very excited to talk to you guys about these new products. So, do you like it, Janet? I'm like, thinking real hard. First of all, let's just take a second to recognize the fact that we all survived the fresh hell that is September. Can we just take a second to realize that? Am I alone in this, in the fact that September is just one of the most brutal months of the year? The fact that anybody who has kids or works in a school comes out alive is really something to be celebrated. Because there were definitely points this past month that I just thought I'm not going to make it. It's not going to make it. I think that it just became so much. Janet, you agree? It's just madness, isn't it? It's the worst. So that's one of the major reasons why I'm excited to talk about this new system, because I sure as hell could have used it the past month. I drastically could have used it the last month. But you know what? I'm glad I have it now, and I'll just move on from there with that. Because it is hard, guys. It is really hard. If you are a human being, sometimes it is just hard to keep up. It is hard to keep up with your to-do list. It's hard to keep up with your relationships, with your kids, with your job, with your emotions. It is a lot. And the oils and products we're going to talk about tonight kind of help you to manage the feelings of overwhelm that comes with dealing with all the stuff that comes with life. So, if you guys don't know, every September, doTERRA has a convention in Salt Lake City. I went last year and loved it. It was amazing. They have all kinds of presenters talk about all the new products, and they talk about all the different things that they're doing as a company, which is always so amazing to hear about the things that they're doing with the Healing Hands Foundation and the co-impact sourcing, and they always release new products. Well, last year I got to go and I loved it, and I heard everything firsthand, and I came home with my kit and I was so excited. Well, this year it was a little bit earlier, and there's some new things going on at my school, so I couldn't take off a week and go, and I was devastated because I love being there. So I had to wait a little bit longer to get my kit. So my convention kit just came last week. And the reason why I didn't get on sooner and tell you guys about some of the new stuff is because, one, I wanted to try it myself and kind of wrap my head around it. And two, I just want to give it to you in little bits and pieces. So there's a bunch of new things that came with the kit. And what I want to do is I want to just jump on here live. I'm going to do it just every day for like the next 5 days and show you little pieces of the new things. So it's not like information overload at once. Plus, I've had a week or so now to kind of play around with this and get some more information for myself and get some personal experience too. Hey, Rebecca. Hi, Chris. Hi, Carrie. So number one, let's just be awesome and think about the fact that today is Mental Health Day. So it's so fitting that we're going to talk about this system on a day that it is so important to consider mental health. Like, this is something that is very near and dear to my heart, for myself, for my kids, for my students, for my friends, for my family. There has been such a stigma associated with mental health in the past, and I feel like we're so lucky to be living where we do now that we're kind of moving into a better place with that, and people are becoming more accepting and more open about their mental health struggles. And I mean, the main thing that I hear from people, because I am so lucky that I get to work with so many people and talk to them about their specific health and emotional needs, and it's always kind of funny. I don't know if they think it's funny. I mean, I kind of think it's funny because a lot of people will kind of whisper to me. Like, they'll be like, oh yeah, and the physical things they're very comfortable telling me about, if it's like a digestive struggle or an ache or pain or any of that kind of stuff, they're very like, oh yeah, I've got this, I've got that. And then they'll kind of lean in and be like, yeah, I kind of have some anxiety too. And it's always funny to me because I personally just think like, yeah, okay. Like, because we all do. I can't think of a person that I know who isn't struggling with anxiety on some level, who isn't struggling with stress on some level. It is very common, and actually like 40 million, I'm sorry. Anxiety is like the number one most common mental health illness, basically, in the United States. There's 40 million people who are affected by anxiety on the daily, and there is nothing to be ashamed of. So many things, in our society are causing us to be more anxious. So much pressure is put on us. There's so much to do, and the information we have at our hands on the daily, I think, causes more anxiety. So I just want to say, like, if you are suffering from anxiety and feelings of overwhelm, please know, like, you are not alone. We are all in this. It is very common, and there are so many things that you can do to manage it. So I just wanted to start with that because I never want anybody to feel like that it's strange that they suffer from this, or that they're having these thoughts, and it's just it's isolating. It can be isolating unless people talk about it. So I personally have struggled with anxiety for years. It probably came up when my girls were younger, when they were babies. It started to come up, and I think that's when it happens to a lot of women. After they have kids, it's just this immense responsibility, and the anxiety builds up, and the things to do, and the self-doubt, and are you doing it right, and can I handle this, and can I keep them alive? It just becomes so much. So my personal history is that I have taken anxiety meds in the past in 2 separate seasons of my life. One was after I had Jane. I had some, I guess, postpartum / anxiety. I'm not really sure exactly what it was, but I took medication for a while after I had her, and it definitely helped. It helped me to just kind of to deal and cope. And then again, just like probably 3.5 years ago, I also took it then. So what I found personally from my own experience with anxiety medication is it definitely helps me to stay calmer. My personal struggle with it was that I wasn't really feeling much of anything at all. And as you guys know, I love natural things and I love natural solutions. So I really didn't want personally to be on it. Now, that's not a knock against it. I know some people feel really great when they take prescription medication for things like this, and I support that. I guess that this video message is more for people who are looking for a natural alternative to dealing with their anxiety and their stress. So let's talk about what we have here, because this is beyond. This is just very validating. Just like we said, how people come out and say, like, I'm suffering from anxiety, I'm suffering from feelings of overwhelm, I'm suffering from extreme worrying. doTERRA making this system is just validating the fact that this is a need for many, many people. It's not just you. So this system is called Adaptiv, and it's the calming blend. So it's a little different than Serenity, which is like, I guess it's called restful blend or something like that. So Adaptiv has 3 parts to it. It comes with an oil. It's a 15 milliliter bottle of oil. And it is, hi Claire. And in this bottle is a mix of different oils that are gonna help to calm you down and calm your nerves. So here's what's in the bottle. It's a combination of lavender, neroli, spearmint, wild orange, copaiba, and sweet gum. So in this oils altogether, the first thing that you need to know is that lavender alone has been in many studies to help with anxiety and help with stress. There was a double-blind study comparing lavender and tranquilizer medications such as Xanax, and lavender was found to be as or more effective than Xanax in some situations, which because of the components of linalool, which is in lavender, it really can help to just calm your nervous system. So in addition to lavender, all the oils in here are like a powerhouse for taking your nervous system and just bringing it down a few notches. Okay, it offers great support to your limbic system, and it helps to influence your thoughts, your emotions, and your behavior like on next level. All right, so this oil by itself is great for diffusing. So this is all ready to diffuse it. You can diffuse it night and day. I have been diffusing it basically nonstop for the past week, both at school, at home, when I'm sleeping, when I'm working. It does not make me sleepy. It's not knocking me out, but it is making me feel this awesome, very great, like peaceful, calm feeling. So that is the oil that comes with it. Now it also the system comes with a touch roller. So it's basically the same thing. I'm pretty sure it's the same ingredients. But it also has fractionated coconut oil. So how you would use this is you would just roll it. You can roll it right on your forearms. It's great to roll it on your pulse points, on your occipital bone, which is right back here, like at the base of your skull, with that great connection to your brain to kind of get into your system right away. It's awesome for teenagers if they're struggling with I can't think of a better age group that may need something like this. Can you imagine, like, you remember when you were like 13, 14 and everything felt so big and so much? This oil system is absolutely perfect for that time in somebody's life, especially, I always speak to the girls because I have 2 girls and I am a girl, so I can kind of get what that's like. But I just think that this system will help tremendously for your teens and your tweens who are just going through stuff, who just feel like the weight is too much, the pressure is too much. I think kids now, they are involved in so much. They have sports, they've got grades to keep up with, they've got friend worries, all the things that it's too much. It can be so much. And this is a great alternative to another thing to add to their little basket of coping skills for when the things just feel too heavy. Okay, so those are the 2 oils that go with it. Now, the next piece are the supplements. So the Adaptiv Blend capsules look like this. Let me show you them. It's kind of like a combination. It's not a kind of pill that you can pull apart. If you guys can see it, like you can actually see the oils and different ingredients in there. So here is what are in these. It is ahi flower seed oil, gamma aminobutyric acid, which is known as GABA, selenium, I think I'm saying that right, selenium, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not really sure 100%, selenium, lavender, coriander, and wild orange. So let me give you the breakdown here, because I have my little notes here to make sure that I convey this properly. Okay, so there's 170 milligrams of ahi flower, which can help with your brain functioning and helps influence positive thoughts. There's also 100 milligrams of GABA, and GABA can be described as a natural supplement that kind of puts the brakes on your brain. So, when you start to feel anxious and overwhelmed, your brain starts going into overdrive and you try to think your way out of your anxiety. Does anybody else do that? You think, well, if I can just figure this out, if I can just get one more thing done, if I can just cross this off my list, then I'll feel better. Which, when we're not anxious, we know that doesn't help, does it? It just makes it worse. If you just keep going, there's never going to be an end. You're actually adding more fuel to your anxiety by thinking you can think your way out of it, because you can't think your way out of it. It doesn't. That's not the way that it works. Hi, Medea. I'm seeing these notes the backwards by now. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So what the GABA does, the GABA supplement in the Adaptiv soft gels puts the brakes. It puts the brakes on your overthinking and just kind of slows your brain down a gear so that you can actually just focus on one thing at a time. Because a lot of people, when they experience anxiety, the next thing that comes with that is brain fog, because you get anxious and your judgment gets clouded, doesn't it? Because you're so overwhelmed, you can't really focus on the one thing that's in front of you. And that's what the GABA does in that supplement. The 15 milligrams of scallidium, I'm still not sure I'm saying that right, guys, I'm sorry. Scallidium root, that offers neurotransmitter support to your body and is like a natural chill pill. Just helps your body to like bring it down a few notches. So what the suggestion is that this is a system. So it's meant to be used all together. It's not an individual thing. It works best used together. So what is suggested is that you take 1 capsule a day. You can decide when you want to take it. I personally have been taking mine at night before I go to bed. No real reason to that. I have other supplements that I take in the morning and during the day, so I just kind of put this as my nighttime routine. Other people have said they've been taking it just once in the morning. Whatever works for you. I personally just like to take it at night. It kind of helps me shut down my body and just get myself to sleep and get the rest that I need. You can do it whenever you'd like to. It's suggested to take 1 a day. So there's 30 in the, bottle. And what it does is it's going to kind of disturb the cascade of stress hormones, because when you're feeling stressed out, your body's going to release cortisol, it's going to release adrenaline. Both of those things are fine in short stances, but the kind of things that we're stressing out about, our body, we're releasing these things on the daily, and it can really wreak all kinds of havoc on your body. So you don't want your body being flooded with cortisol all the time, because it can really affect your body in negative ways. So one way that it could affect your body too is the release of cortisol all the time can really affect your metabolism. It can create weight gain. It can create brain fog, headaches, tension in your body, all kinds of things. So what this does is it's going to help disrupt that. Taking just 1 a day is going to disrupt that cascade of stress hormones, and it's going to kind of shut it down and help readjust your hormones so that you don't feel that, overflow of stress. The oil, the roller, you should roll it on your pulse points multiple times a day, depending on how you're feeling. If you're going into a super stressful situation, you want to roll it before you go in. And I think it's best just to put it on daily too. Like, I'm putting this as part of my oil routine. I'm just rolling it on at least once a day, and then paying attention to how I feel during the day. If I feel like I'm starting to get more stressed out, I'll roll it again on my wrist or behind my neck. And then this oil, you can diffuse this whenever you like. Like I said, it's not the kind of oil that it is sedative. It's not going to completely knock you out, but it is going to calm you down. So you can diffuse it at any time, morning, noon, night, office, car, bedroom, wherever. And it's going to help just keep you at that even keel where you want to be. Let's talk really quickly about anybody who is already taking pharmaceutical meds. If you are taking that and you are looking for a natural alternative, because I've talked to a couple people about that who are saying, well, I'm taking something now, but I don't think it's doing much for me anymore. Or a lot of people say, like, I'm gaining weight from it, or I just don't find it to be as effective. My suggestion for you is to take this system to your doctor. So take all 3 of the things, the supplement, the oil, and the roller, take them to your physician and say, like, listen, I really want to try something more natural. Can you work with me on that? A lot of doctors will work with you on that, and they'll make a plan on how to try to transition you out where you're still taking maybe a lower dose of your antidepressants or anti-anxiety medication, and then, starting to add in some of the natural supplements too. Honestly, if you are really committed and you want to take a natural route to this, and you go to your doctor and your doctor says, like, no, you shouldn't, this is a terrible idea, and there's lots of different doctors and places that you could go if you really feel like this is something that you could work with. Now, don't get me wrong, like, even with my anxiety, and I take this now, and I've been using my oils for a while, there are other things I do on the regular to help manage my anxiety too. Like, it's a job. And I feel like if you're committed to handling your anxiety in a natural way, you kind of have to see it as something you have to work at every day, and you have to kind of breathe through it and manage it in different ways. Exercise, watching what the kind of foods you're eating, like certain foods, like sugary foods, are definitely going to add to your anxiety. It's going to increase inflammation in your body, which can also increase, issues with your mood and focus and stress and things like that. So that is the system in a nutshell. I have to tell you personally, I feel my anxiety, especially in September. Dear God, where are my teacher friends at? Are we are we hanging by a thread in September or what? It is like an onslaught of stress. And it doesn't matter how many years you've been a teacher. I swear every September you just kind of feel like you're starting it all over again. And things are it's just so much, isn't it? It's insane. I'm seeing a comment here. I can't see what it says now though. I'm sorry, guys. So I just think that adding something like this to your toolbox, it will absolutely help a ton. I have noticed just even in the past week, I've taken just one a day for the past week. I've rolled my roller and I have diffused. And what I have noticed is that I feel my anxiety in my chest, and I'll feel myself like breathing in like, shorter little breaths. And I'll find that I can't focus and I can't remember things. Like I can't see what's in front of me sometimes. Do you guys ever get like that with your anxiety, where you feel like you're there, but you can't really interact because your mind is somewhere else because you're just trying to play catch up? So that's my personal experience with my anxiety. I know everybody has it in different ways. But what I have noticed since I started using these last week is that the tightness in my chest has gone down significantly. And I have been so much more able to just pay attention to what's in front of me and do one thing at a time. I don't feel this like pressure to keep going and keep going. Like it's really made me slow down in a way that has made me feel so much better. So I just wanted to let you guys know my experience with it and, how it's worked for me. Renee, you're taking the supplements too. What have you noticed? Have you seen any big changes or noticed any, specific things happening so far? Some people take more than one depending on what's going on. If they know that they're coming up in a situation that's going to be causing a lot of stress and anxiety, they may take one before they get into that. Maddie came home the other night and she was feeling really upset and just like overwhelmed with things. And she was going to bed and she was like, my head hurts and I just feel like it's just too much. And I said, do you want to try one of these? I just got this bottle. People say that it's great for this. And she took it and she said she felt a lot better the next day. So consistency is key. If you're going to be using this system, I would highly recommend you try all three together and use it consistently. It's not the kind of thing like where if you take it just once, it's going to be like, okay, I'm feeling better now. You really have to be consistent with it. The only time these oils and products don't work is if they're not used on the regular, basically. So that would be my advice about that. If you guys have any questions at all about this, I'm just checking in my notes to make sure I got all the stuff I wanted to say. I just think it's so good for us as adults to, you're not getting as stressed. Renee, let me see this. Just listen out. Renee, that is saying something too, because Renee she's got a very unique, situation at school right now, which I think she's handling like an absolute champ. And the fact that you're able to let things go more easily I hope that is a sign that this is really helping you, because you got a lot going on, girl, a lot. So if this is something that you want to try, but you have a few more questions about, or there's something you want to talk about the ingredients, or you're taking other supplements or other things and you want to talk about the interactions or things like that, please reach out. I would love to talk to you about it. But I can't recommend this system enough. Like I just felt so validated when they came out with it, because it's anytime we speak about the struggles we have internally and with our emotions and our feelings, it just makes, I think, everybody else feel so much better. If we share our struggles, we can just really help each other so much more. So if you need any more information about it, there's a ton of information on doTERRA's website too, if you want to look more into the scientific research behind this and the reasons why these specific oils were put together for this purpose. If you know people who are struggling right now with feeling overwhelmed and just feeling like put down, like crushed by life, this is something you could definitely suggest to them if they're looking to try something natural. And I'm thrilled. I'm so thrilled that they have this. And I just hope that if you are in this group and you hear this and you're struggling and you feel this way, I hope that you try these, and I hope that it helps you, because it's so much better to just let this weight off your shoulders. And, it's nice to have natural choices to do that with. So that is all for this. I'm going to jump on here for the next few days and start like chipping away at the other products in the kit, the new things. This way you guys can learn a little bit about each one. The convention kit as a whole is on sale this month. So rather than do one whole long video about everything, I'm just going to chunk it and do a little video on each one to kind of get into it, because I feel like there's so many different topics in this box. I don't want to, bombard you guys with too much at once. So happy Mental Health Day. I hope you all are well. I hope that your stress is low, and I hope you have a great night. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, guys.